Okay, and we're live. Welcome to another Worthless Podcast. I am your host, Tyler. I am back with my co-host,
Chad.
Good to see you, Chad. How you been, man?
I've been doing good.
Yeah, it's good to see you, man. Been
Yeah.
a minute. Been a minute.
Yeah, life feels great.
Yeah. I mean, for sure. I'm glard we finally got to do this after you
Yeah.
bailed on me a couple of times.
Listen, life gets busy. Okay,
Mhm.
you buy a car,
Mhm.
and
It doesn't work.
What?
And it doesn't work.
No, it works.
Uh-huh.
I just signed for it.
Uh-huh.
They're repainting the hard top. I'm
Right.
very excited.
Right. Also, your computers aren't working.
Okay,
Even though you work
that's
in IT.
okay. That's a low blow. That
Mhm.
hurts.
I know. That's why I went for it.
You suck.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of low blows and I don't know, pathetic behavior, Bungie is back in the news.
They canceled it.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Well,
done.
Marathon's been delayed indefinitely.
No, it's canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't convince me otherwise. It's canceled.
I mean, it has too much stank on it right now.
Yeah, by stank you mean overwhelming smell of defeat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not much they can do about that.
No.
But yeah, Bungie has come out and they actually put out a post, all the Marathon developers specifically saying like, we're delaying Marathon indefinitely. It won't be released in September. And yeah, which is interesting considering Herman Holst, the head of PlayStation, was just bragging about it to investors a matter of weeks ago.
Oh, that was painful to hear.
Yeah. I mean, either he's lying through his teeth to the investors or they're delaying it to come out at the very end of the fiscal year, which would be March of next year. So if they do release it, it has to be before March of 2026. If not, he will have broken his, I don't know, promise or their mark for making within this fiscal year.
It'll be really, really bad for their public image.
Yeah, but even delaying it until March of 2026, I mean, that gives them a lot more time than what they had. But I mean, the game's radioactive at this point.
Yeah, nobody's gonna touch it.
Give it some time, maybe rework the whole game. Possibly it does okay. I mean, this gives it a chance. This gives it a chance. But I mean, this game is the quintessence of everything wrong with Bungie currently.
Yeah.
It's the culmination of all their failures and bad moves.
It's not just, the culmination of everything wrong with Bungie. It's gaming companies everywhere that are failing right now.
Yeah.
Call of Duty 7 getting announced, or Black Ops 7.
Right. Call of Duty 7, which
Call
no
of
one
Duty.
wants.
Yeah,
No one wants.
nobody wants Black Ops 7.
No.
Nobody's like, I'm not even over Black Ops 6 right now. I love it, right? I'm playing it because it has so much nostalgia factor for me.
Right.
And yes, I did fall for that. But at the same time, it's basically just Black Ops 2, but with better graphics, better performance, and better aiming structure. Like, don't give me more.
Right.
I have what I want. Chill out.
Right, but me and the people who aren't like committed to Call of Duty, who've like skipped out on a few games here or there.
Yeah.
For us, I recently uninstalled Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Because I sign into it and there's like 5 pages of ads and battle passes that they're trying to promote at me and sell to me before I can even play the fucking game.
Yeah, and that's after the 32 gig update that happens every 5 days. So,
right. And if you include all of the current Call of Duty content together, it's around 500 gigabits.
Yeah. Yes.
Like I have plenty of space on my hard drive.
Oh yeah,
but
everybody does.
It's like I'm very judicious with what I'm willing to fill up on my hard drive.
And here's the thing, just about every single Steam game does this wonderful thing when you have an update where in the process of installing the new update, it uninstalls the previous update because they have it patched in to where they know where they need it, It's like the new update just slides right in where the old one would have been filling up. Why don't Call of Duty games do that? Why is it that if you were literally to go in and search in through a file from 5 years ago that was a 98 gigabyte update for that game and uninstall it, the game no longer functions?
Right. Well, it's very clear to me that their structuring and their coding for the game suffers from a lot of the same issues that Destiny 2 does.
Yeah.
To where it's just the game's been built upon bad code, but it's too far and it's all in operation for them to go back and redo it. So they just have to keep building structure and content upon the bad code and just deal with it.
Yeah, and not only that,
resulting in like a massive file size for the game.
Exactly, but that's not it either. Is that like the main base game now is called Call of Duty. That alone to run everything else, like the new games that keep coming out, is 100 gigabytes. So then they throw Modern Warfare 3 on top of that, which is where they started this whole Call of Duty center for all of it. And they just throw the new games on top of this 100 gigabyte monster with bad code, exactly as you're saying. And so instead of creating a completely new game, they are essentially just throwing an expansion pack like Destiny right on top of the old game.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's no room for them to wipe it and start over again.
Yeah. Yeah.
They've screwed themselves. They shot themselves in the foot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's at the point now where I won't even play an Activision game.
Yeah.
Like obviously Bungie's not as bad as they are because it's like the usual suspects.
Yeah.
At least for, Activision. It's like if you ask a normal gamer who like the most evil companies are, it's usually EA and or Activision.
Yeah.
So, I just at this point I'm kind of done with them because it's like the fact like their most recent controversy of them doing in-game ads, and just it was essentially a beta test for them. They said it was a mistake and that they ran an update when they shouldn't have, but it was just them testing the waters to kind of see how they would react.
Yeah.
It's funny. They've gotten to the point where they're like that evil company in Ready Player One, IOI. And there's that CEO of the evil corporation. And he's talking about how many ads they can fit into their game. And he's talking about, we can actually mask the player interface with up to 70% ads before inducing seizure. And like that's their whole theory is to get as many ads and microtransactions into the game so that they can maximize revenue per player. But in doing that, you're ostracizing everyone who isn't willing to pay that kind of money for it.
Well, it's also gotten to the point, it's gotten to the point where we're kind of running into this thing where subliminal messaging is becoming a thing again, because YouTube ads now, you get like, I pay for YouTube Premium, right? It's a scam. I know it's a scam. I don't care. I watch long form videos. I don't watch short form media. I watch videos that are 2 to 3 to 4 hours long, and I don't want 82 ads in my video, right? But there are. My YouTube Premium just ran out yesterday, and I could withstand probably about 20 minutes worth of videos before I renewed it, because I was telling myself, like, I'm not going to renew it this time. No, like 2-second ads that are over just like that, just instantly, right? That how close are we getting to subliminal messaging again?
Yeah.
Which is illegal, is it not?
Gray area?
No.
And it's legal.
Because that was something like people, I can't remember how long ago it was, but people found out that there were frames in between movies at the movie theater for McDonald's ads. And they were half a second. It was literally just boom, just half a second.
Yeah.
And then after the movie, guess what? People were going, oh man, I really want McDonald's for some reason. And so like some people slowed the movie down and found out that this was in there and sued the movie theaters, and they won. Yeah. Please look this up for me.
No. It's fine. I believe you. We're not going to actually do any research on this show.
Oh, okay. And that kind of makes me sad. Yeah. I'm curious. It's itching at my brain.
It's fine. I'm sure it's true. Folks, go ahead and Google it. Make sure
Google it yourself. I don't want to spread false information, but I'm pretty sure subliminal messaging is now illegal.
Well, I mean, we can just go back to the Bungie thing. I mean, like, do you think there's any way Bungie can get themselves out of that hole?
Oh no. Yeah. No, I think they're doomed. I think it's exactly like you were saying. Like, this is that one game that I can't even remember the name of.
You mean Concord?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
This is part 2 of Concord, and in 3 months you're gonna be like, hey, remember that game that flopped that we were talking about? And I'm gonna say no. Because
because Concord's not famous. It's infamous.
It's infamous. Yeah.
It's the standard in terms of entertainment failure, specifically for video games. But like Bungie, I mean, so say Marathon comes out, it's obviously going to do poor. We all know what it is. You're basically shining a turd at this point.
Yep.
I'm sure they're going to do what they can to get as much content into the game as possible, address some of the art style issues, obviously get all of the stolen art that they had in the game out of it.
Good luck.
Not to mention all the audits they're going to have to do for art that may be stolen, but no one's caught them for yet. So, because there's no way the game can survive if it releases and there's more stolen art in it.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be
toast. No, it'll be, the whole company would probably go bankrupt.
Yeah, it'll be toast at that point.
Yeah.
Which, when Marathon comes out, probably spring of next year. I'm guessing because that's the only spot that they could put it in. One, it's right before the end of the fiscal year for 2025.
Yeah.
Two, it's before GTA 6 comes out in the summer of next year.
Yeah.
And it's far enough away from Christmas that it won't be competing with all of the games that come out in fall.
Yeah.
So that's really the only window for it is late winter, early spring.
Yeah.
That being said, it's going to tank. I'm sure it's going to have some spikes initially, but there's going to be no substance to the game. The replayability factor will be incredibly low, and no one's going to stay on it for a long period of time. At that point, PlayStation will finally have a good excuse to go in and do what they should have done from the very fucking beginning, which is gut the company, get rid of anyone with the word director in their name.
Yeah.
Anyone with the word president in their name.
Yeah.
Any CEOs, chief officer, blah, 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 blah.
Yes,
get rid of them.
Yes.
Get rid of them and replace them with people that you know are competent, which PlayStation, as of late, their record for choosing or arbitrating a good talent and people who can actually give them good products for video games has been poor as of late.
PlayStation.
Yeah.
PlayStation.
It really seems that they put like the biggest idiots in charge of their PlayStation and making this ridiculous push for live service, which has been an absolute calamity with the small exception of Helldivers.
Sony.
That's the only one that's done well for their live service push.
Sony, where's Bloodborne remastered?
Where
is it?
We've been asking for it for years at this point. Like, it's really simple.
If there was a remaster, I will play it for hours on end.
Yeah, Sony's, I mean, they're literally retarded. The fact that they put Bluepoint, which is this studio who's really good at remastering games, the fact that they had Bluepoint do a God of War live service game, like they attempted to develop that.
Yeah.
And then obviously someone like rang the bell like, this is a horrible idea.
Yep.
This is a horrible idea. So just give Bluepoint Bloodborne.
Yes.
Have them remaster it. You sell 6 million copies.
Absolutely.
It's that simple.
Speaking of Soulsborne games.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about Clair Obscur Expedition 33?
Well, I was going to talk about Night Rain, but yeah, let's get into that.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I am 38 hours into Clair Obscur now.
Jesus.
And I still have not beaten it.
Uh-huh.
I haven't finished it.
You've been doing a lot of the side quests?
That's a reason, but also I'm scared.
Mm-hmm. Of what? Who's going to die at the very end?
I'm so terrified.
Yeah.
I'm
expecting them to kill everyone.
Clair Obscur is one of the games where it's like, yeah, they absolutely could kill everyone at the end. You don't know. You really don't know.
Fuck, I just spilled my cup.
Yeah, I saw that. Very smooth move.
It's fine. Thank you. Anyways, yeah, you like Clair Obscur a lot more than I do.
Dude.
You think it's game of the year, right?
It's taken over my life.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I've noticed anytime I'm signed on to Xbox, I see you playing Clair Obscur. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, your wife must love it.
Oh, no, she does. Yeah. She loves the storyline. She's always curious. She's like, oh, what's happening now? Mm-hmm. She's not curious enough to sit down and watch me play it because it is such an expansive, the world mapping in it is so expansive that it takes just about like 5 to 10 minutes of just playing the game just to get from one area of the map to the other.
Yeah.
And so, she doesn't like to sit down and watch me play it, but if there's a cutscene, she'll run into the room and just be like, pause it, let me watch it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I think Clair Obscur, it proves why AAA major large studios are no longer necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Like this proves that they're dinosaurs.
I want to see more.
There's no point in having a 500, 400 man studio when you can have a team make Expedition 33. It's It's phenomenal. It's
It is.
phenomenal. I mean, it's not. I don't think it's a game for me necessarily, but I appreciate what it is. It's a very unique piece of art.
Exactly.
Like the ability for them to do everything in Unreal and make it look the way it looks very nice. It's the story's phenomenal.
Amazing.
Like the character development and writing is
So good.
probably like my favorite part of
So
the
good.
whole the whole game.
The fact, if you've never played this game before, audience, if you've never played this game before, the first 20 minutes in, you are already so enveloped with these characters.
Yeah.
You are already so tied in, and it's enough to just steal away your heart, and one single manly tear will fall.
Yeah. I do have some complaints about the game, obviously. I don't think it's a perfect game.
No, absolutely not.
It's for me, like the combat, I don't love. Like I thought it was interesting at first,
Mm-hmm.
but after I don't know, like 9 hours into the game, I'm very done with the combat system. I don't like the quick time events. I don't enjoy that aspect of it.
Hey, buddy.
I enjoy the like the strategy,
Yeah.
like turn-based strategy
Yeah.
aspects of the game. But I think in terms of like turn-based combat, I think Metaphor ReFantasio, which came out last year, it's a JRPG, was much better. I think it's because for me personally, I don't enjoy a game that I can't play high.
Do you want to know something fun?
Yeah.
You can turn off the quick time.
Really?
It's in the settings.
Then what's the point?
The point is to have more interaction with your combat scenarios.
Ah,
And the thing is too is that there are so many settings in the game that they tell you in the little hints during the loading
Mhm.
screens and everything. Unless you have like a fast PC or something, you don't see it. But in the hints, it'll tell you like, hey, this is a setting you can turn off at any time.
yeah, but it's like I'm not experiencing the whole game then. And another complaint I have is the gap in skill between story and Expeditioner.
Oh
Is
my
gigantic.
gosh.
It's a chasm. It's
Yeah.
a chasm in terms
Yeah.
of skill level.
But I'll
Like-
tell you something. It is estimated to be a 30-hour campaign run. And throughout the 30 hours of just story, not side stuff,
Yeah.
just story, 30 hours of story. Throughout that 30 hours of story, you will close that gap. And there are going to be situations where you realize, oh, I'm this strong now. My team is this strong now. But it's still one of those games where, yeah, it's one of those games that's really, really good at building up false confidence.
Yeah.
And
It's like Dark Souls in that way.
it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
you think like, okay, I'm so strong now. I'm prepared for the next area. You move on and you're just like, oh my God.
Yeah, I was literally screaming at my computer like, "What the? I pressed it! I pressed it! What the hell? I
Yeah.
blocked!" Yeah,
Yeah. One thing I didn't know until about 20 hours into my playthrough of the game. Again, listeners, if you've never played the game, please play this game. Even if you don't like turn-based combat,
It's on
give
Game
it a
Pass.
try. It's on Game Pass. It's free on Game Pass. I paid for the game because I wanted the expansion pack and everything. And I wanted to support the company more than just the Game Pass. But Sandfall Studios,
Mm-hmm.
amazing. What was I saying? I lost my train of thought.
I don't know.
No. Run me back. I need to.
Another complaint I did have, and this is really the only compliment I could give Dragon Age Veilguard.
Yeah.
Is the hair animations and hair physics in Expedition 33. They are not good. I don't like them. They break the immersion for me because
Yeah.
they look so out of place on the character designs. And that is the one compliment I will give Dragon Age Veilguard.
Did you try
the hair physics are like superb.
I haven't.
I think they are the standard of hair physics that all other like high fidelity RPGs should measure themselves against. It
Yeah.
looks so good.
Yeah.
Now, in stark contrast, that's really the only compliment I could give Dragon Age Veilguard because everything outside of that good part of the game is fucking terrible. It's a game designed for babies, and this is in terms of like character writing for an RPG and the dialogue. Expedition 33, it's impressive. It's so incredibly impressive. You really relate to the characters. Everything they say makes sense in terms of their character. None of it comes off as, I don't know, derogatory or pessimistic or pretentious. So much of the attitude that seems to come from a lot of the like woke modern developers where they just end up doing a self-insert of their shitty personalities into the game. But everything in this game, especially the characters, feels so unique and believable. Where in Dragon Age Veilguard, they sound like depressing teenaged angst retards.
It is estimated, it's not released information, but it is estimated that Clair Obscur Expedition 33 had a budget of $15 million.
God damn.
Sandfall Interactive Studios, listen to me, please. Please. If you had a bigger budget and you are now in partner with Microsoft, you could make an amazing game.
Mm-hmm.
Such an amazing game because like you said, the story is on point. The character development is on point. The graphics, little wonky sometimes, right?
I mean, the hair is literally the only thing I have to complain about.
Which you can change.
Yeah, and also the world rendering, like how quickly it renders.
Yeah. But that's probably just because you're, PC.
Please, no. No. That's actually how the game maps.
Well, because I play it in 4K on my Xbox, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, it looked great.
Yeah.
Looks great.
It's 60 frames per second. It runs beautifully, right? Now, the second that I switch over to my laptop that has a 3050 in it, I have to play it at 30 frames, minimum graphic settings, everything low, but it still runs like a champ. And the game still looks beautiful.
Performance is great.
Oh my gosh, man.
Good performance.
Yeah. And like with a game like that, a lot of the time it's like, oh, you have to make sure you have maximum FPS so that way you hit your quick time events exactly right. No, this game, it doesn't matter because they're not dialed in that much.
Yeah.
They're not dialed in that far.
Yeah.
The game isn't supposed to be about the quick time events. That's why you have an option to turn it off. The game is supposed to be about the story, character development, and the fighting style.
Clair Obscur is a wake-up call to the rest of the industry. It shows that you do not need a $300 million budget.
Exactly.
It shows that you do not need a 400-person studio to make something awesome.
Yes. They had 30 heads from Ubisoft that defected that headed this project.
Yes.
That doesn't mean that 30 people made this game. Let me get that straight. Everyone online, for some reason, is saying 30 people made this game. 30 people did not make this game. I don't know who in your right mind thinks that. No. 30 people headed this project.
Right.
That's still insane.
But like shoestring budget in comparison to most AAA
Oh
games.
my gosh,
and
yeah.
The leap in quality is astounding.
Astounding. It's mind blowing.
Yeah, you look at Dragon Age Veilguard, $300 million budget. Assassin's Creed Shadows, probably more than that.
Oh
$400
man,
million.
yeah.
And like the chasm in terms of quality is astounding.
Yeah.
Like this is a shoestring budget in comparison, and the amount of quality writing and immersion that it provides in contrast to those games is incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
I mean,
it makes every major AAA title that's coming out now, it puts it to shame.
Yeah, did I tell you where they found the composer for their artist?
No, I did not know.
SoundCloud.
Oh, wow.
SoundCloud artist.
Wow. Yeah, and I haven't
listened to the music.
Yeah.
I like the first scene, the first opening sequence, 20 minutes in, and like that song was one of the reasons why it pulled that tear out of me.
Yeah.
It like just heartstrings, man. I love the music.
I haven't heard music composed in this way and complement a campaign story as well since Halo.
Yeah. Yes.
That's the only time I can compare of like, wow, I like the music, I think about it afterwards. And I haven't thought about the music for a game like that in so long. And
Yes.
the only thing I can really compare it to is Halo. And that's quite the achievement.
Well, because not only that, but every area has a different style of composition. Every area in the game, every boss fight has a different style of composition with reminiscent notes of previous boss battles.
Yeah.
There has not been a successful game to do that since Halo. You're right, because like Dark Souls, I love the sound composition for Dark Souls games and even Elden Ring. But the thing is, you go into a boss battle in one area and there's too much overtones of the main game, right? So it's like you have your main game sound, you have your main game song, but if you're going into a unique boss battle, that boss should have its own tune, right?
Yeah.
No. With Elden Ring, again, each boss does have its unique song, but the overtones are way too like this is the sound for the main game. This is the same song that you hear on the opening for the game in the open sequence in the start menu.
Mm-hmm.
No, Clair Obscur.
Yeah.
Clair Obscur. No, the start music, the starting menu music, completely different. Also, the starting menu music does have meaning.
Yeah.
Every single one of the songs in the game has meaning, and I found this out again today.
Yeah.
I was researching topics for this podcast, and I was researching more about Clair Obscur, and I found the translations for the song. And I will tell you right now, if you don't speak French, do not look up the translations for the song before you play the game.
Yeah.
Because it gives away key elements to the story.
Mm.
The songs, dude. Can you believe that? Have you ever heard that before? Oh, yeah. This song playing in a different language than the game I'm playing is quite literally mapping out the storyline of the game as it happens.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like I remember playing Witcher 3 and the music in that one complements the combat and the story incredibly well, but nothing like this.
Yeah.
Nothing like this. I mean, it really, like, the music really sets the tone and the mood for whatever is occurring in the actual game.
Yeah.
Incredibly well. Like I said, nothing, I haven't felt this way about a score for a video game since Halo.
Yep. And
which is, it's an incredible achievement.
I can't get over the fact that the translation for the main opening song titled Lumiere, where the city is in the game, literally the translation for the song is just like, oh, you're in Lumiere. You are Gustave. Gustave loves Sophie. And it continues on, like the song plays out the path for what you're about to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And man, the characters are so well written. Gustav, obviously, we don't want to spoil anything for the game because it did something to me. But bro, I set down my controller and I'm yelling no at my screen. I'm going no, why'd you do that?
But Charlie Cox, dude,
he did an excellent
Daredevil.
Yeah.
Daredevil. And it's like 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
3 years ago is when he must have recorded those voice lines.
Yeah.
But man, he did an amazing job.
Yeah, I think Charlie Cox needs to stay in doing voicing for characters instead of getting emasculated in the MCU anymore.
Yeah, poor guy.
That poor
guy.
Oh man.
Also,
because like his new Daredevil show was just it was a fart in the wind.
I didn't watch it.
Yeah, it really felt like the first few episodes. It just didn't grab me
really, because Morgan was saying he loved it.
Yeah, but Morgan's a bright-eyed, optimistic, like baby, and he thinks anything Marvel is good.
No, because I literally went back and forth with him on controversial opinions on Marvel.
Well, me and him did kind of agree on and just kind of like went back and forth on how awful Captain America 4 was.
Yeah.
Because like I think me and him were the only ones in the office who actually saw it.
Yeah. Because I still haven't seen it. I
don't. No, you shouldn't see it.
I'm done.
I'm done. See it.
I'm done with Marvel stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, that really sucks because it was so much of my childhood.
Yeah.
To say that I'm done with Marvel stuff. Will I see the next Spider-Man movie? Absolutely, because I am a sucker for Spider-Man.
Of course.
Yeah.
And also it's he's not going to be relegated to the MCU in the next movie, apparently.
Yeah.
It's going to be purely Sony. Which kind of goes into our next topic about Fantastic Four and how bad that movie is going to bomb.
I'm so scared.
Yeah, it's not going to do well.
I have never seen Pedro Pascal bomb in a movie before, and I'm so scared to watch him be in a movie that's going to bomb.
Yeah. It will be. It's like I don't imagine a reality in which that movie does well. I mean, because Thunderbolts that bombed, Captain America that was an immense bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're going into Fantastic Four. You have basically like the people who did like Thunderbolts and thought it was fine. I thought it was kind of mid in terms of a movie. It's probably the best thing they've put out in a while, but it definitely wasn't good.
Yeah.
That flopped hard. You've lost all goodwill.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of the MCU for like the general public and like normies. So at this point, I don't understand how Fantastic Four could do well, especially with the fact that just as soon as like a few weeks ago, they were doing reshoots for the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So like the movie comes out next month and you're doing reshoots within a 3-month window before it comes out, it's going to be a jumbled, edited mess, just like Captain America 4 was. Because it's
scary.
like, I don't know how many times we have to teach you this lesson, old man, but you can't re-edit and cram your homework the night before. That doesn't result in good art.
Nope.
And even if the movie isn't woke and offensive and emasculate all of the men in it, it's going to be a jumbled mess in terms of story. And it's going to be very chopped together.
This is one thing that we've been running into ever since Disney took over Marvel Studios, right? Is you're running into this thing where Disney is like, oh, deadlines. We have to put out deadlines. Dude, the Favreau brothers made Infinity War Part 1 and had a how many year gap?
It was the Russo brothers.
Russo brothers, not Favreau. My bad.
Yeah, Favreau's one guy.
Yeah. John Favreau's one guy. The Russo brothers, how long was the gap between Infinity War Part 1 and 2?
I think it was almost 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah, but they can't help themselves. I mean, there was a piece that came out about one of the Disney executives, just a matter of, I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago. Their plan was to have at least 2 to 3 MCU movies out a year.
Yeah.
2 Pixar movies. And then at least 1 live action remake.
Yeah.
And they're expecting those to all be billion-dollar movies.
Yep.
So at that point, it's just like they're putting movies on a conveyor belt and investing so much money into all of them instead of diversifying and doing a bunch of smaller projects that are a lot less risky.
Yeah.
But in doing that, you're pouring all of this capital into these products, and there's so much money riding on it that you have to make them safe and watered down and basic and just bland, which is how everyone would describe most Disney movies nowadays. It's bland. Bland.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing really there.
Yeah, just sanded down garbage.
Yeah.
And that's another thing too, is just like, we'll wait. True Marvel fans are patient, man.
Right.
Patient.
And I think most people nowadays are comfortable saying like, yeah, I am a Marvel fan.
Yeah.
But I'm not a fan of this.
Yeah.
I'm okay making that deal. Like it's like for me, I don't think it's an absolute either way.
Yep.
It's not this strange dichotomy. It's like I can be discerning with what I want to watch and still consider myself a fan.
Oh my gosh, the fact that we got our coworker Sean, he had never seen a single Marvel movie in his life. He had never seen, like, he wasn't superheroized. He didn't grow up on superheroes. It was kind of like, yeah, he knew what Superman was, he knew what Batman was. It just wasn't his thing. We got him sucked into early Marvel age, and he was enveloped within the first Iron Man movie. He was there.
Dude, he was
in it.
It was amazing to watch him watch the probably like first 10 years of the MCU.
Oh yeah.
In a matter of like months.
It was so funny.
Yeah, because it's like those are movies we witnessed over and experienced over a decade.
Dude.
Yeah, so we had like so much time in between each of these projects to like absorb them, dissect them, and then predict what was going to happen next. But yeah, he'd never seen any of it, and so we just like we got him to watch all of it, and that was just it was amazing to watch him watch them, because it is just stark contrast to our experience of taking those movies in.
Exactly. But also, I want to point out the fact that after every movie he was watching, he was like, oh, that's my new favorite.
Yeah.
That's my new favorite. Then we got into the new shit.
Yeah.
And he was like, it's all right.
Yeah.
And I was like, he's understanding.
He's finally understood what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, why are you guys so passionate about this? And why are you guys so upset that the movies coming out now aren't good enough? And I'm like, now you've witnessed and absorbed the art that we have. Like you've related and empathized with all of these characters built up over years.
Yep.
And then you see them destroyed.
Yep.
Now you understand our frustration.
He understands.
And he's like, I get it. Yeah, it was like that scene in Hook where it's like, you're doing it, Peter. You're doing it.
One of us.
Yeah.
One of us.
Yeah, he had this twinkle in his eyes about all of the movies and how they were making him feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he really was. He was telling us like, oh yeah, I love just like the cinematography of it. I love the background music. Like the action sequences are really good. He said that Thor 2 was one of his favorites, which really shocked me.
Right.
But
and Thor 2, like we didn't love it at the time.
Yeah.
But we compare it to what we're getting now, and we're like, I would happily take Thor 2.
Yeah, I would love another Thor 2.
Yeah.
Which, like, I just thought about that too. I was thinking about it the other day. It's like, yeah, I mean, compared to the movies that he's been watching with like his son and stuff like that, because he said that he's seen like a few with his son, but he's never been interested really. And that was like, I don't know. I don't remember what he said he saw. I think Endgame. He went and saw that with his son in theaters or something or whatever.
Yeah.
And he said he didn't remember any of it. But now it's like going back and watching all of it and then seeing his reaction at the end of Endgame. He was like, oh, I get it now.
Yeah. 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 That was very cool.
Yeah.
That was very cool. But yeah, I mean, it makes me so sad because we see Fantastic Four. I mean, it's a movie. It's written by the same people who did WandaVision and I think some other Marvel TV show, which they aren't the best in terms of quality. And then it's being directed by a guy who's never directed a movie before, let alone a big budget one with a lot of CGI.
That hurts.
Yeah. So like,
I'm scared. I'm
expecting it to look bad. I mean, if you saw the trailer, Julie Gardner, which they're doing a female Silver Surfer, which no one asked for or wanted.
Nope.
And the CGI for her character looked horrific in the trailer.
Awful.
And a lot of the reshoots involved her character and Sue Storm.
Yep.
So I'm expecting their powers, like their CGI scenes, their heavily CGI filled scenes, to look incredibly unfinished.
Remember how way back when in 2008, when we were saying that Fantastic Four 2 was garbage?
Right.
I miss it.
Right. We didn't know what we had with those early Fox movies.
Guess what? I went back and rewatched the 2 Fantastic Four movies the other day. I love them.
They're not that bad.
I love them so much.
They're all right. They're all right.
It's crazy. No, because really, I went from like being a kid and just being like, oh, that movie sucked. That movie was awful. And now, as an adult, as a 24-year-old male, I'm sitting here saying, I miss it. And I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. It's like it's what's the name of that again? Stockholm syndrome. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, it's Stockholm syndrome. Yeah,
yeah. Because it's like I feel like Fantastic Four is going to be probably like a rotten tuna salad sandwich that's been dropped in the dirt.
Yeah,
and then they're like, "Here, eat this." In stark contrast to the original Fantastic Four, which is like just like a nice $30 steak.
Yeah,
nothing crazy.
Yeah,
but
But
hey,
it's
that was satisfying.
Yeah,
it gets the job done, and it tasted all right.
Yeah,
you know,
it like you still have that empty feeling of oh man, I could have just made that at home, but like it still tasted good.
Yeah, it didn't change my life. Yeah, but that was all right.
Yeah,
that was right. Which Fantastic Four is going to be a horrific experience.
It's going to be awful.
It's going to be terrible because dude, I wanted to walk out of Captain America 4. But the whole time I was waiting for Red Hulk, and then he shows up with literally 5 minutes left in the movie. He fights Captain America for a little bit, pretty awful fight scene. And then at the end of the fight scene, Captain America's like, "Hey, Hulk, have you like tried not being so angry? You should try being chill, bro." And then he decides to be more. He's like, "Oh yeah, you're right. I should be more chill." And then the movie ends. And like. I remember like credits roll and I'm screaming at the TV, or the screen. I'm like, what? No, that can't be the end of the movie. And it was. Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. And then Thunderbolts, it was better than a lot of the shit we've gotten lately. But if you haven't seen any of the Marvel TV shows, it makes zero sense. It's the quintessence of the MCU homework problem.
Speaking of which, have you seen the latest Marvel controversy?
Which one now? Like what? Like it's
they redesigned the Ironheart suit.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I almost forgot about Ironheart. Yeah, that comes out. I think that comes out this month or next month.
Yeah, they redesigned the suit.
Yeah, which is smart because it wasn't good before.
No, it was garbage. It was
awful. Yeah. It was awful. Yeah, I can't
It looks more like the Mark II did now.
Right.
But more like, rusty and dusty.
Which is interesting because in the trailer for the TV show, she says she wants to create something iconic, but you're just ripping off the design and template for something that Tony Stark had already created.
Yeah. But
in a cave with a box of scraps.
It's a box of scraps. I'm not Tony Stark.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
but I mean,
it's going to be awful.
The thing
It's
about
gonna
it,
be
though,
awful.
is that, like, even in the comic books, Ironheart was never, quote-unquote, unique.
No.
Ironheart was never supposed to be unique. She was quite literally the offspring of Tony Stark. She carried on his legacy the way that he was. She just wore his suits.
Uh-huh.
She made her own adjustments to it. She made her own tweaks. She built her own, yes, but they didn't look like the piece of trash garbage that was in Wakanda 2.
Right.
Or whatever the name of the movie was.
Right. And she was in that movie for like 10 minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe 15. But like,
with the fucking Japanese mech suit
right.
on. Yeah.
But fucking Ironheart, she's in the top 5 characters in Marvel to have the most amount of canceled comic series. So, like, why? I don't understand why they keep taking these characters. And Ironheart, they've been, like, apparently was finished filming, and most of it was edited, like, almost 3 years ago at this point.
Yep.
And they've been trying to cancel it as much as they can. They've done everything they possibly could to Batgirl it so they didn't have to let it out.
Yep.
But, they couldn't get out of these contractual obligations that they've had.
Yep, the
so
train was already rolling.
Yeah, so they have to release it.
Mm-hmm. It was a matter of, like, they put her in Black Panther 2 to see how it would test screen, basically.
And it did not go well.
Bombed, and they were like, oh no, we have to backtrack so fast right now. And they couldn't.
Right.
The train was already rolling.
Right. In Wakanda Forever, in which she helps defend a African ethno state being invaded by a bunch of, I think, Latino Atlanteans.
Yep.
Trying to break into their border.
Mm-hmm.
There's over their great wall that they have around their country.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Not subtle, that one.
No,
but
no,
yeah, this one should be a lot of fun, because I remember in the trailer for Ironheart, which was absolutely hilarious, she gets stuck in an elevator, and the guy's like, you need to get out of the elevator before you suffocate. And so she goes into the electrical box for the elevator, and in order to open the doors, she bites a live wire, and she doesn't get electrocuted. And and then it works like a charm, and she's able to open up the elevator doors with her 100-pound frame.
And this is the thing too, is that there was this theory that old movies in the 80s that introduced hacking to the world created this mass hysteria of, like, anyone with a keyboard and a mouse can hurt anyone from anywhere. Right? You know, it was the whole I'm in the mainframe type of thing.
I love that.
Right?
I love
Oh man, I love it, right? As someone who works in IT,
yeah.
Okay. What kind of message do you think that sends to kids watching that movie? What do you think? Okay, first of all, you're showing them exactly how to break into a breaker box on an elevator. Right. And there could be warnings, whatever, at the end of the movie in very, very small text that flashes through the screen as fast as possible that say, hey, don't reenact this, right? Do you think a kid is going to read that? No, they're going to see the scene where this girl rips off the panel in an elevator and bites a live wire.
Yeah. Yeah, and she's also supposed to be a genius. But then again, like, I don't think even kids will like this show. Yeah, I think they'll turn it off after 5 to 10 minutes and just go back to scrolling TikTok. Because it really, I want to see if it's worse than She-Hulk.
Yeah, you say that,
because She-Hulk is the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, but there are kids. There are kids who are growing up with this generation of Marvel. And that's what really hurts us, is knowing that, like, we grew up with Iron Man 1 releasing, and the X-Men movies releasing, and finally our favorite comic book characters being put on screen, and we're like, whoa, Hugh Jackman is the Wolverine? That's insane, you know? And now it's like these kids are growing up watching Deadpool, which is a rated R movie, and falling in love with this character that cuts his own hand off. And you're like, oh, cool. Like, you know, like, sure, expose your kids to that, whatever. I don't care how you raise your kids.
Right. Or
what I care is that this is the era of Marvel that they're growing up with.
Yeah, it's strange, because it's a crazy dichotomy, because we got to experience the inception and maturity of the MCU, whereas nowadays kids are having it inflicted upon them. Like, it's not.
Yep. Yeah, we experienced the childhood wonder of the retirement fund, and now the kids in the next generation are basically us with our retirement fund now, where it's kind of just forced upon you. You don't really know what it is, and it means nothing to you. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah. I was at the theater last night watching John Wick's Ballerina,
Yeah.
and as we were exiting the theater, I looked at everything on the wall saying "coming soon," and literally one thing was or it was now playing or coming soon. So all of them. So it was like 20 movies. They were all either sequels, prequels, spin-offs, remakes. Only one was an original thought, and that was Elio, which is that new Pixar movie.
Yeah.
Which I'm gonna go see soon.
Oh.
But like that's where we're at creatively.
Yeah.
It shows that Hollywood, basically every major studio, is at creative bankruptcy, and they don't know how to figure it out.
What was the last Pixar movie that was made?
Inside Out 2.
Inside Out 2. Was that any
That
good?
was good.
That was good.
very good.
I keep hearing that it was, but I never watched it. The last Pixar movie that I watched was Luca.
Yeah, I don't remember that one.
Dude,
I didn't watch that one. I didn't watch that one.
You have to watch it. Really, you have to watch it.
It's just like the three Pixar movies before that were Lightyear, Strange World, and I think Turning Red. Those were all terrible.
No, Turning Red was amazing. What are you talking about?
It wasn't good.
Oh, okay.
I hated just the premise for the movie. It's
everybody.
We're doing an analogy about a girl getting her period.
Well, also
because she turns into a red panda.
You're also forgetting Asian representation, asshole.
Yeah.
Mr. White Man over here who's had movies made about him his entire life.
I don't want Asians in my movies. Why
Shut
would I want that? Well, no, it's just
he said these red panda dumpling eating, noodle slobbering,
dog eating. Yeah, but yeah, I just hated that, just the premise of the movie, because it's like I expect every Pixar movie to be at least close to Wall-E in terms of quality and writing.
Well, I mean, like to me, Turning Red was that. To me, Luca was that. Like you have to watch Luca. Really, it's one of those ones that tugs at a man's heartstrings.
Yeah, Inside Out 2 was good though.
It was.
It was good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's you can see. I remember I talked about it on the podcast before it came out. I'm like, they're gonna make her gay, make Riley, the main character, gay.
Yeah,
and you could see like the fingerprints of that in the movie when it came out.
Yeah,
but she's not gay in the movie. But it came out later that Disney rewrote it. Like they told Pixar to rewrite it like before the movie came out to make the movie less gay because people reacted so poorly to Lightyear and Strange World.
Yeah,
which is so funny.
Well, it's one of those things where it's like, hey, you can make your characters whatever you want. Don't shove it down kids' throats.
Right.
You know, like okay, that sounds really bad. Yeah. Don't force it on them. You know.
That's I mean, according to some of the people in Hollywood, that is exactly what they want to do. So
it's just like
you know. I mean, yeah.
Let these kids make their own decisions on how they want to grow up. Dude.
Is it really that surprising though? I mean, because knowing a lot of the people in Hollywood probably flew to an island with a temple on it at some point. You know, it wouldn't be that. It's like I'm not like, oh my gosh, I'm so shocked. Gasp.
How many shells do you like? Do you have a shotgun?
Yeah.
Yeah. How many shells does it hold?
4.
You want to go kill some pedophiles? That's what I'm feeling right now. I'm feeling that sentence alone just like sparked a fire.
Yeah. I'm excited to see if Jay-Z's on the Diddy list.
Oh,
anyways, so yeah, I was at Ballerina last night. Watched that.
Yeah.
And it's like, it shows the failures of modern Hollywood writing.
Yeah.
They're incapable of writing female action heroes now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really, really, really sad.
Yeah.
Because in the movie, it was a decent movie, like good action, like you see, like the people who made John Wick made it. So, you know, it has all that flair to it, but it's just the character development, character design, the way that Ana de Armas acts in the movie, you can tell that she's not as comfortable around all these guns, and she hasn't been doing like martial arts as long as as much as like Keanu Reeves did.
Oh yeah,
but like that guy trained like a Navy SEAL,
dude. Keanu Reeves doing his own car stunts in John Wick. Like they were like, hey, can you do a 360 drift to a turnaround and get out of the car, shoot someone, and get back in it? And he was like, yeah, watch this.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he ended up getting stunt driver qualified.
It was like,
yeah. But it's like
no. He ended up getting stunt driver requalified.
Got it. Yeah, he's like doing a little side quest there.
Yeah, dude.
But like Ana de Armas in the movie, she looks like just normal Ana de Armas.
Yeah.
She doesn't look like she's in particularly like great shape or anything like that. She's just skinny and whatever. And it just really took me out of the movie because I feel like if you're gonna do a female action hero movie where she's doing a lot of physicality, she's doing stunts, combat, you need like the baseline is Linda Hamilton in Terminator 2.
Yeah.
Like if you don't look like that, if you don't look at least like you have some definition and muscularity to you,
yeah,
like don't try and do it.
Yeah.
And if you are going to do that, you need to incorporate an insane amount of jujitsu and Krav Maga.
Yeah.
Even then you can't have normal girl arms. There needs to be some definition there because it makes it more believable.
I got 2 movies right off the top of my head that you just remind me of. Matrix and Resident Evil Underworld.
Right.
2 movies with female protagonists that kick ass.
Yes.
And the movie is amazing.
Yes.
Like how long have the Matrix movies stood the test of time until the latest trilogy? Oh, we're not going to talk about
that. We're not even going to talk about that because that whole time I was watching Matrix 4 hoping it would get better and it never did.
It never did. Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's the thing. Keanu Reeves warned us. He warned us. He did. He was like, if we come back for another Matrix, nobody's going to like it. And it's not going to be good.
Yeah.
Like he warned us. He did. But he's also the same person that's been begging studios to pick up a Constantine remake.
That would be good.
Which would be.
I'm still waiting on the 4K Ultra HD version of The Devil's Advocate. They still need to do that. That was an amazing movie.
I don't know that movie.
Oh, Keanu Reeves and what's his name? The guy who was in The Godfather. Why can't I remember his name? Al Pacino.
Al Pacino.
Yeah, Al Pacino plays Satan, and then Keanu Reeves plays his lawyer.
Oh, I do know that movie. Yeah.
Great movie. But like going back to like Ballerina, like the last female-led action hero movie that I felt was excellent and was believable in some aspects was Atomic Blonde with Charlize Theron.
Really?
Because
what year did that come out?
I think that was like 2014.
2014?
2013, something.
I'll give you one better that did an amazing job.
Yeah?
Lucy. No, I loved that movie. I loved that movie. The cinematography was great. The action sequences were amazing. And the storyline was just mind-blowing.
Yeah, but like
it created false pretenses in science fiction, yes. And like it's not really true that humans only use 10% of their brain. Actively at a time, yes, 10% is in use, but every human uses every single part of their brain every day.
Yeah. Also, I just didn't feel like the story was very well fleshed out. And I didn't think Scarlett Johansson's acting in that movie was particularly great.
Really?
Yeah.
I think the character dynamic shift was amazing. To go from like quite literally just a regular person. Also, that trafficking scene was heavy at the beginning of the movie. And like to go from that to just robot, emotionless, it takes a lot of skill to be able to play that.
No, but like in particular, the thing I liked about Atomic Blonde was the physicality of Charlize Theron.
Yeah.
But like the believability of the combat and the fight scenes.
Okay.
Because at the end of the movie, Charlize Theron is bloody, bruised, and just totally messed up.
Yeah.
Because she's fighting against people who are literally twice her size.
Yeah.
And having to use knives, glass, like anything around her to give herself an advantage in a fight.
Yeah.
And then like one of the last fights of the movie, it's her taking on like several men. She kills several of them. And then the last guy and her are like, they have to take breaks within the fight in order to catch their breath.
Yeah.
Because they're going so hard at each other. It just makes it so much more believable, regardless of how visceral it is.
Yeah,
but like in Ballerina, Ana de Armas, she cauterizes one of her wounds with like a hot knife at one point in the movie. But it almost hurts the movie in some aspects because like it shatters the myth of John Wick.
Yeah.
Because of the end of that, in that first movie, he is having to go see a doctor, get stitches, take medication in order to keep going. Whereas Ana de Armas in Ballerina, she barely has a few bruises on her or cuts on her by the end of the movie. And that doesn't make any sense. You need to be like completely fucked up. And Charlize Theron was in Atomic Blonde.
I was going to say the same thing because in the first John Wick movie, like there's exactly like you were saying in Atomic Blonde, there's that scene where he stops with the guy that he's fighting, and they both like take a break, and they're like sitting there, and they're like falling down and like heavy breathing, and then like they just kind of like look at each other, and they're like, and then they just go right back at it. And I loved that scene because it showed so much reality.
Yeah, because fighting is incredibly exhausting.
It's exhausting, dude.
Yeah.
And they're sitting there throwing like ancient tomahawks at each other in like this museum. And I love that scene.
Yeah.
That is one of my favorite scenes, is when he's taking on those guys in the museum. He has no weapons except for the things around him. And yeah, like I feel like Ballerina just is subtracting from that.
Yeah, and it shatters the myth of John Wick because, you know, she's essentially not like, I wouldn't call her a rookie assassin at the point in this movie, but she's not as far into her career as John Wick is.
Did you do
and
the
yet
thing?
She's going through like professional assassins like John Wick is.
Yeah. I don't know if you do this as well, but because you know, you're military as well. Do you count bullets when you're watching action movies?
Sometimes. Sometimes I have to force myself to not pay attention.
I try not to, but it's so hard not to when you're sitting there and you watch someone who obviously has a 10-round mag in their pistol and they shoot 80 times. It's very, very hard not to. But watching the first John Wick movie, it was like a breath of fresh air. He would get 7 bullets in and he'd still reload. It's like, I'm going to run out in 3 bullets. There's 8 guys in front of me. I need to reload anyways.
Yeah.
So he'd flick the magazine, which some people are saying that's very controversial. It slows down the grip.
It's cool.
It's cool, dude.
It just looks cool.
And
she does it in the movie. And
exactly.
I enjoy that aspect of John Wick, and they maintain that, I guess, theme or believability aspect within Ballerina.
What's her relation to him?
Her relation is she came from the Rosca Roma, so she's of the same school of assassin as he is.
Yeah, the one where he was banned.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, their genesis is from the same school of assassins.
Okay.
But what was I saying?
Sorry, I was talking about counting bullets. And
it's okay. It's just I remember what I was going. She fights it. It's just the choreography and the martial arts or Ballerina are too close to John Wick.
Yeah.
She's just fighting exactly like John Wick would do.
Yeah.
As if she had his same amount of strength, experience, and everything.
Yeah.
Where it's like, no, that's not how it would go. Like literally the only difference in her fight style is that she kicks people in the balls.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well,
and if kicking people in the balls was an instant win, everyone would do it.
Yeah. I mean, John Wick, he kicks someone in the balls in the first movie.
But Also, but she's shoving full-grown men up against walls, and she's able to engage in combat scenes, which none of this is possible. And it was so disappointing because like it's this strange thing where writers in Hollywood, in order to write this new generation of like boss girl, lead action hero woman, they write them like men.
Yeah.
They write them as having the same aspects as men, which is so pathetic because it's like the value in female action heroes is their approach and how they differentiate towards men. How they use their feminine qualities, how they use their sexuality, how they have to use their agility and lack of strength and incorporate it within their fight style, but they don't do that anymore.
Let's take an example here.
Yeah.
Black Widow's introduction in Iron Man 2.
Great.
That fight scene, amazing. You know, like it literally highlighted every single comic book quality that Black Widow had. The only issue being she took several hits during that fight. And all that happened at the end of the fight was that her hair was a little messed up. We'll give them the benefit of a doubt. That was early Marvel. They were making it with the direction of like, only kids are going to watch this movie, right? It happens. Okay. Take that fighting style, apply it to Ballerina, give it a little bit more rated R action, makeup aesthetics and everything. Boom, you got yourself a good movie.
Yeah, or you could just make it like Atomic Blonde.
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, and then you go to Black Widow, the movie.
Yeah.
And
it's garbage.
It's complete garbage.
Yeah.
They wrote her so poorly.
Yep.
Like they incorporated her fight style improperly.
Yep.
Again, she's going up against men and like people who are 2 to 3 times her weight and size, and yet she doesn't change up her fight style.
Nope.
Like she
and I do,
she incorporates a ton of punches and strikes, but she doesn't utilize her like non-weight factored like fighting style, which is jujitsu and Krav Maga.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I'm so glad you brought that up, because let's circle back around to Iron Man 2. When her introduction scene, there are 3 big beefy guys that pull out like their batons and stun guns or whatever, and she literally looks at them, takes a breath, and like the look on her face is like, I don't know if I can do this. And at the end of that fight, she's literally like on this guy's shoulders facing him, like bashing him in the face like 3 times. Like she actually is struggling, you know?
Yeah, it is her punches aren't as strong as a man, so it's gonna take a lot more damage.
Where did that go in Black Widow?
Yeah.
Where did that struggle go? It's like all of a sudden she has the superhuman serum. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And like that's another thing is these writers, they somehow don't want to differentiate the female characters from the men, because in Ballerina they make her she basically has the same fighting style as John Wick. She drives the same car, which is a Mustang.
Yeah.
Is John Wick. And the same thing they do with Black Widow, where it's like she uses overwhelming force in order to solve an issue instead of using like sleight of hand or her agility or like a very particular fighting style a lot of the time. Not always, but a lot of the time.
Yep.
And they tend to write these women like men when it's like they don't see the value is you need to differentiate your character.
Yeah.
That's what we value. That's what makes the character special and unique, is what differentiates them from what came before. You shouldn't be making them similar. That's boring. We don't care about that. And also it shows a very serious lack in quality writing, and like the very premise of your writing is flawed.
Yeah. It's the same thing as like, oh, well, we're trying not to be misogynistic. Well, too bad you made a misogynistic movie.
Yeah.
Like you in trying not to be racist, you are racist.
Yes. Yeah, like it's like people think that the problem with Captain America 4 is that Captain America was black.
No, that's not the issue.
That's not the issue.
Falcon has always been black.
Yeah.
Falcon America, the rise of Captain America, has always been and will always be one of my favorite comic books. It is the end series of the Civil War series. Captain America gets shot in the head. Sorry if you've never read it. Read a book, idiots. Captain America is shot in the head walking up the steps to the courtroom after he's arrested in Civil War by who? Crossbones, the guy they killed off in 15 seconds in Civil War. Not getting over that ever.
Yeah.
And then who does he pass the shield off to as he is losing his life on the operating table? Except for Falcon. He hands the shield to him. Okay? Not going to go into what I didn't like about Endgame. Not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole right now. But all I'm saying is, this was supposed to happen.
Right.
This is comic book accurate. What's not comic book accurate
is how they did
it. And that he doesn't take the serum.
Yeah, that's stupid.
I'm sorry. No.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I don't necessarily love the way they did it in the comics, like handing it to Falcon, but I will give them credit for writing it drastically better than they did in the movie.
So much better.
And also it's like, do you not see what you're doing? Like, can you please stop giving all of the black characters sloppy seconds?
Yeah.
In terms of titles or superhero names.
Exactly. And
like,
trying not to be racist, they are being racist.
Yeah. Why can't you just make a unique black character?
Yeah.
Why do you have to keep giving them sloppy seconds from another white person? Like it's amazing. They've evolved into like a new form of racism.
Yeah.
That it's not blatant.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem, to them it's not overt.
Yep.
But it's like this, like they've really lost the plot in terms of how much people actually give a shit about race.
Yeah.
And how much of a factor it plays into a character's writing and development.
Exactly. And the fact that during the entire Captain America or the Falcon and Winter Soldier TV series, during that entire thing, about half the show was about how he's black and his family is going through financial struggles. Yeah. Ow, dude.
Yeah.
Why?
It was not even close to subtle.
That and that is not at all comic accurate either. They didn't have to do that. You don't have to make it about the fact that he's black. Make it about the fact that they're trying to pass the shield to him.
Yeah, it's like they can't help themselves. It's like they can't help themselves. And I'm expecting Fantastic Four to be like pretty woke.
Sorry, I
'Cause
just I
it's like
can't.
they like it's like a meth addict. Like
Yeah.
they just can't break themselves off of it,
Yeah.
no matter how much they know how bad it is. for them.
Exactly.
They
Yeah.
really can't help themselves.
Yeah.
And it's Captain America, like, or Falcon and the Winter Soldier is probably one of the most racist TV shows
Yeah.
I've ever watched.
Yeah. Sorry, I got so heated about that.
No,
I just,
no,
like,
I understand it because it's like
growing up,
they-
Captain America was my favorite superhero.
He's great.
So it's like reading this when Civil War was first announced.
Mm-hmm.
You can't even imagine how hyped I was.
Yeah.
Like I was so excited. And I was telling all of my friends, this is going to be the death of Captain America. Get
Mhm.
ready for it. Be ready for, the death of Captain America. And all of them were making fun of me at the end of the movie. And I was just like, okay. It'll come.
Yeah,
It's going to come. Why didn't they give him an honorable death?
I know. Yeah,
Why
they
didn't-
divulged
why
so
didn't-
much?
Why didn't they what happened?
Right, and also it's like they undermined his like the morality of Captain America that he would go back in time and do something so selfish as to like just be by himself and raise a family.
And how
And then
much
he
that would
doesn't-
screw up the timeline?
Right, and all of the stuff he didn't interfere with.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was I mean, Endgame was just it was a mistake in a lot of aspects. But
One thing about Captain America is that he upholds a lot of military values.
Mhm.
And one of the military values is selfless service.
Mhm.
That doesn't seem like a very selfless service move, Captain
Mhm.
America, to go back in time and stay there and say, they can handle the rest.
Yeah, I've done enough. Captain America would never ever say
He would
that.
never say that.
I've
You know what he would say? I could do this all day.
Mhm. Mhm.
By the way, hearing that line for the very first time in movie theaters was
Fire.
so awesome.
Mhm.
So
Legendary.
awesome.
But let's go ahead and take a quick break, and then when we come back, we can talk about Stellar Blade, and then we can talk about some of the live action remakes that have been coming out,
Okay.
particularly Lilo and Stitch, and then How to Train Your Dragon.
Ooh, yeah. Let's get into that.
So
okay.
we'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Right back.
Okay, and we're back.
Hi.
It's a good break.
Yeah, it was a good break.
Yeah. So we were watching some Stellar Blade clips in between the. Yeah, in separate rooms, obviously.
But no,
I was watching it by myself, and you were watching it by yourself, and I locked the door, obviously.
that's not what happened.
But yeah, man. I mean, it's a win for gamers. There's no other way to put it. Like, we're winning.
Yeah.
Stellar Blade is the single largest PC port in the history of Steam.
I feel like this is exactly what happened when the first Bayonetta came out.
Yeah, well, like, I think it's even... Like, all the aspects of that whole debacle are accentuated even further here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Because
because-
it's the same headlines.
Right.
It's the same headlines, just more modern.
Right, and we respect game journalism even less than we did then.
Yep.
Yeah, because like all of the articles coming out are saying like, it's gooners who are making the game successful, and it's
This
like
is an end
Chinese
of an
people.
era.
And I'm like, what's the problem?
Yeah.
Why is that such a bad thing?
Yeah.
Are gamers any less of gamers? Like, do they count any less because they're from a different country?
Yeah.
Or they like the game for particular aspects?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't even like, let alone the character design for the game. The performance is great. The story is a lot of fun, and the gameplay is excellent.
Yeah, and I was just about to say, like, watching some of the clips, like you just showed me, there was that clip of that huge space monster on the space station,
Right.
and I was like, oh, that
the
fight
alpha.
scene looks awesome.
Yes.
Like, I'm actually most likely going to play the game just because the graphics look great.
The gameplay is phenomenal.
Like, I'm a married man. My wife says she wants to play that game.
You guys should play it together.
Yeah, I think it might spice things up.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely, you could definitely consider that game foreplay
Yeah.
if you wanted. If you
Well,
want.
I mean, it was like,
Set out some candles. We can
yeah.
play Stellar Blade together.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like,
Oh, what? No, hold on. Sorry. I know you're about to say something. I was going to say, it's exactly what you were just saying, that journalism, they're attacking all of the audience that's playing this game and buying out this game. And they're saying that that's the problem with media today. Are they going to say anything about the voice actors or the actors who had to do all the physical movements
Mhm.
or anything like that? Are they going to point that out at all? Or the female directors that probably had a pitch in the game? Like, or are they just going to keep dogging on the animators and the people who are consuming the game? Like,
Right. Well,
if you're going to say that there's a problem,
right.
maybe don't start with the consumer.
Right. And maybe come with some actual evidence of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you look into it, half of the game journalists who are writing, I don't know, what you would call controversial or negative pieces about Stellar Blade, like if you look at them and you look up their names, they're a bunch of fat Karens
Yeah.
who are complaining about unrealistic body expectations.
Yeah. Well, guess
And I was
what?
like, well, yeah, if you were fat and disgusting and hated your body and were envious of someone else for like receiving attention for their for their genetics and body type, like I understand why you're writing this article.
Exactly.
I mean, but it goes to show how far games journalism has fallen.
Yeah.
No one like when we see these articles, it's to make fun of the people writing the articles.
Yeah.
It's the only reason people are looking these things up, because no one really cares what they think anymore.
It's one of the same reasons why people thought like movie journalism was going out the window, because Watch Mojo became a thing. And and I thought it too. I was like, is this the extent of movie journalism now? And then GameSpot, it's the same thing. It's like, why is this even a thing? Like, it's not a matter that game journalism is going downhill. It's the fact that everybody has a voice now, and they're using it to inflict the mass media in the most short-term way. You know,
well, it goes to show that journalism more than ever is just paid advertising.
Yeah,
like that's all it is.
Yep.
I mean, if we go to IGN, you will see a 9 for Dragon Age Veilguard in their review,
and
you will see a 9 for Expedition 33. They're saying they are the same. So, like, when you say something like that and you provide such an objectively horrible take on a piece of art like that, why should we believe anything you say or take anything you say with any level of gravitas? Like, your opinion doesn't matter after you have such a horrific take like that.
I just got like the sickest pit feeling in my stomach when you said that. Like, you can't do that.
Right. IGN's a joke for a reason.
I was just spewing about how much I'm fangirling over Expedition 33. You can't rank it the same. No. You can't do that.
No.
Oh, that's icky. That's
right.
So gross.
Right.
Dude.
You're saying Expedition 33, which is a phenomenal piece of indie game developed art, is the same level of entertainment and art value as a shitty friend simulator like Dragon Age Veilguard. It really is one of the worst games I've ever played. Yeah. It is a game written by a bunch of people who not only got shoved into lockers in high school, but deserved to be there.
Yeah.
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 But like Stellar Blade, like we're winning.
We're winning.
We're winning. Like
we're winning.
I mean, and the further that these so-called like games journalists push themselves in opposition for games like this and entertainment that gamers as a whole have agreed are awesome, the less their opinion matters, and the more people like Endymion, Asmongold, the more their voices are pronounced because they're honest. Like, they're not sponsored. They don't have to say or do anything for money. They're just going to give their honest take, and that's what we value about them.
Penguin Zero, Charlie, we love you.
100%. Because it's like, if I go to a review by IGN, the reviewer for each game every week is different.
Yep.
And everyone has their own particular taste, but that's the value of YouTube and doing a show like this is talking about the games that we care about and breaking down what aspects we love about them.
Yeah.
The audience comes to understand what our flavor and our taste for games is.
Exactly.
And they're able to discern, oh, this reviewer likes this particular type of game. Like they find aspects of games positive, and I relate to them on that.
Yep.
And so if I know for certain that, or at least a high probability that if this reviewer likes this game, I'm going to like this game.
Exactly.
If this reviewer doesn't like this game, I'm not going to like this game.
Exactly.
And that's, and it makes it makes institutions like IGN that less valuable.
I mean, you know, if you want to get political about it too, you could turn your head and say that that's the exact same thing that happens with Fox News.
Mm-hmm.
It tells you what you want to hear. We're here to tell you what you want to hear,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And that's a matter of, if you listen to this podcast and you love trashy AAA games and this garbage that Marvel is pouring out, you're going to be pissed at what we're saying.
Mm-hmm.
But if you come here with the same mindset of you're tired of Marvel movies that are pushing out garbage, you're tired of AAA games also pushing out garbage, you're going to
Trying
agree
to
with
extract
us.
as much money from you as possible and always
Exactly.
having some sort of political agenda to him.
Exactly. You're going to agree with us. And that's just what it is.
Right. And I don't
That's what it
consider
is.
myself a very good arbitrator of good entertainment and or art.
Yeah.
But I do consider myself a relatively keen observer of reality,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, because we're consumers.
Mm-hmm.
We are equally as much as consumers as anyone else.
Yeah.
You know? And like, say your everyday Joe picks up a controller and plays, you know, a game. You know,
Mhm.
are they going to have the same thought on a game as us?
Yeah.
Maybe not. But maybe they will.
Yeah. And like it's this strange obsession that people in the games industry, in particular games journalism and like a lot of big AAA developers have, is they see the sale of one copy of a game as just the first step in extracting more money from a gamer. It's like, oh, they purchased the game. Wait, how can we add in stuff to the game so that they continue to pour money into this game instead of it's just final sale, it's yours, you get all the content you want. If you want to come buy the DLC, you can, but the game's all good by its own.
Yep.
And like the thing that I loved for Stellar Blade is the president of the development team for it said, like, I don't give a shit if people mod the game on their own PCs.
Yep.
Because that's what a lot of games journalists are upset about is people like making like, you know, not safe for work mods for the game.
No.
But like the developer says, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
They paid for it. It's
Grow,
theirs.
grow up. We're
Yeah.
going to do whatever we want.
Exactly.
It's like, you know, and circle back around to what we talked about last time, Nintendo shutting people's Switches down because
they've bricked so many of them already. Like tens of thousands of the consoles came with controller drift, stick drift, and then like further people thought they could get away with it, but their systems are being bricked just because they wanted to alter them slightly.
Yep.
And it's insane. Like there's so many people who are being left with a bad taste in their mouth because of the Switch too.
I really think Nintendo's going to bomb.
Like this isn't going well for them.
I think Nintendo's going to bomb. As someone who slightly trades in the stock market, they're not doing too good right now.
No. All of their sales expectations are under.
Yeah.
Yeah. And everyone who's bought the Switch 2, no one said to me like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is the best console experience I've had in a long time. No one said that.
Nope.
Like
which is what I heard from the PS5. It's what I heard from the Xbox One X. Everyone was raving, you have to get one. You have to get one. Why haven't you gotten one yet? I have not heard that for the Switch 2. My brother he pre-ordered a Switch 2, and his girlfriend won't even connect the Pro controllers they have right now because she's afraid it's going to brick it. Because they're not official Nintendo controllers. They're licensed by Nintendo, but they're worried that it's going to brick it. And I understand that. I understand that fear. But they're also not raving about the console like they did when my brother bought his PS5.
Yeah.
He's not pushing it on me to buy it. He's saying, like, it's all right. You know? And I asked him, like, what do you think? Should I get one? And he's like, If someone's saying that about a $500 purchase, I'm not buying one. I'm sorry. I'm like, I have made my official decision.
The greatest compliment I've heard from someone about the Nintendo Switch 2 was, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
It was all right.
Yep.
That was it. And they didn't say it emphatically. They weren't raving about it. They didn't expand upon that whatsoever. It was just, pretty good. It's all right. I like it.
If I'm dropping $500 on anything, right?
We're not even including purchase of the games. If you bundle it with Mario Kart, it's $600.
$600, yeah. Yeah, now if I'm dropping $500 to $750, by the way, for the new From Software game, for Nintendo exclusive From Software game, that makes me so sick, by the way.
Yeah.
Because I love From Software. I guess I'm just not going to play it.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just not going to play it because I'm not going to spend $750 just to play one game.
Mm-mm.
And I like, if I were to spend $750 on something, first of all, my wife would wring my neck, especially if I didn't love it to death. Like, I spent $350 on my record setup for that. That's for my vinyl player, my vinyl collection. I'm not even going to get into how much I've spent on that, but my speakers, my AV receiver probably came to a total of roughly $600-$700 for everything, right? I listen to my vinyls just about 3 times a week. I'm not going to spend that money on something that I'm going to touch like once a month.
Yeah.
Because it's meh.
Yeah.
I have every console in my house, every modern console. I have a PS5, I have an Xbox One X, I have my OLED Switch, and or my wife's OLED Switch, since I gave mine to Sean for a 3090, and I have my PC. And guess what? I alternate between all of them. All of them have a use to me. Just about every week, I will probably play each one of them once. I'll play my PS5 if I want to pick up The Last of Us Part 2 or any of the Uncharted games because I love those games.
But where's that with Switch 2?
Where's that with Switch 2?
It's not there.
It's not. I see no value in it right now.
Right. It's Nintendo with the Switch 2 has proven that they've gone a bridge too far.
Yep.
And all of the bridges are built with nostalgia.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
And
nothing substantive there anymore. And like, this is what you get when you take your fan base for granted.
Yeah. And I see hardcore Nintendo and PlayStation fans like dogging on Xbox for releasing everything on Game Pass and PC. And they're like, oh, they're ruining their image. They're going to ruin the Xbox sales. No, Xbox sales are higher than ever right now. Why? Because of people like me. If I want to play something on my PC, I'll play it on my PC. But if I want a nice, smooth 4K experience on my big screen TV, I'm playing that on my Xbox.
Yeah.
There's a transition. There's a smooth transition that Xbox is doing, and they're doing it right.
Right. It's kind of amazing how right when Xbox decides to get out of the console market, like they're reducing their footprint in terms of console gaming, and they're just going to make it a platform where you can play Xbox games from basically any device.
Yeah. That's genius, by the way.
I know, it's genius. But right when they decide to do that, to move out of the console market, PlayStation starts to like mess up over and over and over again. And Sony, and Sony doesn't have the same amount of available capital and cash on hand as Microsoft is. It's like it doesn't even come close.
Nope.
But like, it's odd that like Microsoft almost saved Sony by moving out of the console market right when PlayStation does this big giant push for live service, and they're losing hundreds of millions of dollars hand over fist. Like, it's constant. Like every few months they're bombing some game, they're canceling something, and they're having to shut down a new studio.
Hey, PlayStation, what happened to your servers, man?
Yeah, those fools.
What happened, dude?
It's amazing, what happened, man.
Dude, yeah. I swear it's so funny.
For PlayStation DC.
Yeah, you told me that.
Yeah, like it was a few years ago. I quit my job at Nintendo to go work for Sony for like 2 months, and it was awful.
Yeah,
it was like literally one of the worst jobs I've ever had. Yeah. And then I went right back to Nintendo, like, please take me back, please take me back.
Now he's working for an undisclosed company that's way better.
Right. It's interesting. Yeah, I now realize, I'm like, oh my god, I've worked for all of them at this point.
Yeah, yeah. I know because I used to work there. He has an NDA that he signed that says he can't say where he works from.
Right.
But let's just say we've named all the other ones. He's working for one of the other ones.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Way better.
Yeah. But like, it's there's so many great games out now, but they all tend to be indie games.
Yeah.
This is
who made Stellar Blade?
Stellar Blade, it's a Korean studio.
There you go.
I mean, and it's like this weird thing that's going on with East versus West in terms of art direction and character design. Eastern studios are designing female characters with feminine aspects to them.
Yeah.
And Western studios are designing female characters with androgynous, if not outright male characteristics to them. If you don't see what I'm talking about, just look at Stellar Blade and look at Concord.
Yeah.
Look at Marathon and then look at Black Myth Wukong. Like this is very, very simple. Like and it's strange how they
look at Call of Duty and look at Expedition 33.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Lune has my heart.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm not even into Asian girls, man, but
but yeah, they look like women.
Yeah.
They have feminine aspects to them, and like they understand the value of differentiating women from men.
Yeah.
It makes the characters more special and adds to their individuality.
Let me correct myself on my previous statement because I'm thinking about that now.
Uh-huh.
I am
I
a
think it's
Japanese male. Listen, I am a Japanese male. I do not like Asian women because they all look like my mom.
And they smell bad.
I can say that as a Japanese man.
Sure.
Chill out, first of all.
Well, I'm just speaking for you. I think we agree on everything I just said. So
I don't really know what the issue is with Japanese women in their dental work, though. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, you said it, not me. You said it, not me. We should probably move on. But we're kidding around, guys. We're having fun.
I can say this.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Yeah, I mean, you're like actually my only Chinese friend that I have.
I'm gonna punch you in the throat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. This is gonna turn into the Bad Friends podcast. He's gonna start doing Asian accents. Papa?
Yeah. Well, we've been actually going on for like an hour and a half. Man.
Whoa.
Flies with this podcast, right?
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. We definitely got to do this again soon.
Yeah, getting all hot and sweaty with Stellar Blade. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, my computer, I need it working. Anybody wants to throw a brother an AM4 motherboard.
Yeah. Anyways, we can go ahead and move to the end of the podcast. Do you have anything to recommend? I mean, a recommendation station. Anything that you played recently that the audience has to check out?
Expedition 33. Yeah. I said it a million times. I'm going to say it again. Stellar Blade looks really cool. I'm going to check that out. I'm going to play that game. But yeah, Expedition 33 has my heart right now. Yeah,
I think we're both in agreement there that it's a great game.
Yep.
Again, not my flavor. Like it's like I don't love every aspect of it.
Even if you
I understand what it is and like how different it is and what it's accomplished.
Exactly.
It's great. It's great. And then if you want like a more actiony, like kind of like mindless one, like not mindless, but like it just doesn't require nearly as much focus. Definitely Stellar Blade.
Yeah.
Stellar Blade's a lot of fun. Space Marine 2 is about to come out with their Horde updates. That should be incredible.
Nice.
Another thing that I wanted to recommend was when I was watching Ballerina last night.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of another good action movie that's come out this year. And as soon as I thought of it, I was like, yeah, why didn't I just watch The Accountant 2 again instead of watching Ballerina?
Yeah, The Accountant 2.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet.
It was actually decent.
Yeah.
It was actually
good.
not the best movie ever, but like I compare it to Ballerina. I'm like, yeah, I should have just watched The Accountant 2 again instead of watching Ballerina.
Just anything with Jason Statham.
Yeah. Those are fun too.
You want to watch something? It's really worth watching.
But Ben Affleck and John Bernthal, they crush in it, dude.
Yeah.
Just every scene of them just hanging out and talking to each other, just being brothers.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
Oh, that's
Such a fun movie. Can't recommend it enough. But we can go ahead and wrap it up there. Thanks everyone for listening. This has been another Worthless Podcast. Go ahead and give the show a like, share, and or subscribe. Really helps out the channel. Really helps us grow here.
I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah. If you have anything you want to have discussed in the show, go ahead and send us an email at anotherworthlesspodcast@gmail.com. You can go ahead and send me hate mail there or send recommendations for the show.
Also write it in the comments below. Yeah, definitely write it in the comments below. I don't know about Tyler, but I love reading through the comments on any video. So.
Yeah. Just so you guys know that Chad is Chinese, so if you want to talk about that in the comments, you can do that as well. That's perfectly fine. In fact, I would encourage it. Nice. Get a good comment about Chad being Chinese in the comments, and maybe we even bring you on the show. Yeah, that should get some people going out there. Yeah. But thanks everyone for listening. Bye.
Bye.